what we see in front of us right here is a Faceless YouTube channel that I've literally monetized in 13 days and went ahead and already made $1,400 with it. And in this video, I'll show you guys exactly how I've done it. Now, before we get started, here you can see I've started this channel on the 11th of March and we got monetized basically here on the 24th or 25th of March. So it went pretty quickly. In this video, I'll show you exactly how to do it too. Now, for the people who don't know who I am, I'm Stefan, 23 years old. I'm currently making anywhere from $30,000 to $40,000 a month and constantly building new Faceless YouTube channels. I've had 2 videos that made me over $42,000. I've literally went and built a channel from $0 to $48,000 in 30 days. I have like a case study and everything on this channel, so check it out. And then I've helped hundreds of other people do the exact same thing. For example, here Martin Swift helped to make $31,000 in one single month, or here this student who have helped to make $24,000 one single month. Here a different one absolutely blew his channel up. Here a different one, $12,000. Now, if you're interested in kind of getting the same results, check out the first link in the video description. Book a completely free call with me and we'll have a look if it makes sense to work together. Now, with that being said, let's get started into the video. So first thing is kind of getting your channel ready. Something you have to know is that shadow bans are real. And before we get into, the whole shadow ban thing and you need an proxy or anti-detect, you do not need that, all right? Shadow bans are basically happen when your YouTube channel is being flagged or it just has low trust score, all right? Now, what is trust score? Trust score is basically just how much does YouTube actually trust your account? That's all it is, right? If your trust score is low, YouTube is going to push out your videos way slower. If your trust score is high, YouTube is going to push out your videos way quicker, all right? That's how easy it is. Now, trust score is something we cannot see, unfortunately, okay? Now, there are different kind of accounts when it comes to YouTube. So number 4 here, actually just want to write this here, personal. So we have a brand new channel, we have aged channel, pre-monetized channels, and personal channels. Brand new channels are basically YouTube accounts you can go ahead and now immediately create. Then we have aged channels. Aged channels are YouTube accounts that are very old, like from 2006 to 2009. We have pre-monetized accounts, which are already monetized YouTube channels. And we have personal accounts. Personal accounts are the best accounts. These usually have an insanely high trust score. Reason for that is personal accounts are basically YouTube accounts that we use every single day to watch YouTube videos and these kind of things. So which account would I use? I would firstly not use a pre-monetized account. I would only use a brand new account, a aged account, and most importantly, and the best accounts are, here these personal accounts. We use these personal accounts to watch videos on YouTube, and that's why they have extremely high trust score, all right? So personal accounts are overpowered when it comes to YouTube. Now, these other accounts here, brand new accounts and aged accounts, we actually need to warm up. Now, how do we warm up these accounts? We use it as normal users, right? We watch 1 to 2 hours of content every single day. We subscribe, comment, and like to different kind of YouTube channels. Now, very important is that we do not overdo it, because if we overdo it, again, YouTube is going to think that there is a AI bot behind the channel and the channel is going to be flagged, all right? We do this for 1 week to lower the risk of a low trust score. Now, this isn't proven to be 100%, all right? But it helps to increase your trust score so that YouTube thinks like, hey, there's a real human behind this account and they're going to trust you or your account way more, which is very important when you actually want to get pushed out from YouTube, all right? Now, if we have our account ready, we actually need to get into niche research. This is the most important part of the process, and this is also how I monetize my channels in literally 13 days, because I pick the right niches from the start. Now, the criteria of a good niche is they are under 5 smaller channels creating content in this niche that are constantly getting more views than they have subscribers. This means there's high demand and low supply. This is very important. So demand is basically what the audience wants to watch on YouTube, and supply is how much is there of that. Now, if there's high demand and nobody posting these videos, you have a perfect niche, you have a perfect gap in the market. That is very powerful. Now, how do we spot these things? We spot it when there are no channels with over 100,000 subscribers, there are no smaller channels failing, the niche is not older than 6 months. In most cases, if the niche is older than 6 months, we will have channels that fail, and we will also have channels with over 100,000 subscribers. Then I can create better content than my competitors. This can also just be longer content, just as an example, right? Then am I actually interested in this niche? This is not a must. As long as you build a team that actually has interest in that niche, then is the niche monetizable? Is a must-have, because otherwise you will not make any money with your channel. Now, a huge bonus is if they actually post long videos in that niche, because then you're automatically going to have a higher RPM. Now, very important, give yourself enough time to do niche research and do not rush the process. Is it possible to find niches that have, or that kind of tick every single box of these ones? 100%. Is it easy? No. All right. Will you find a niche like this every single time? 100% no. But we don't want to be too perfectionistic, and we just want to get started. All right. If we look at, just as an example here, this niche here, where, I went from literally $0 to $48,000 in, 30 days, every single box was ticked. Right? Every single box was ticked. So, it's not going to happen every single time. But if it does happen, that's obviously insane. Now, how do you actually do niche research? Now, tools I would recommend for niche research are here, for example, NextLev, which is 13 euros a month, or vidIQ, where you can just use the free plan. Okay. Now, by the way, NextLev will be linked in the video description. In my opinion, it's a must-have tool, all right? Now, we use a dummy account for doing niche research, as we can see right here. This is basically a YouTube account that we only use for doing niche research. The YouTube homepage changed for our advantage. YouTube got extremely good at predicting what we want to watch on YouTube. Now, we can use this to our advantage to train the YouTube algorithm to only show us faceless niches on our YouTube home tab. And instead of me explaining this whole process, let me show you how you can set one up. And, once you have a dummy account set up, you can find literally endless niches with it. This niche research method is, no joke, overpowered. Now, this right here is how my dummy account looks like. If we click here, just as an example, we can see it's a niche research account. And then, if we look here on my YouTube homepage, we will literally only see faceless channels on my whole homepage, right? If we click here, for example, on this channel here, I don't even know this channel. It has 18 videos, 16,000 subscribers, one video here with 300,000 views. Now, what you can do with NextLev, just as an example, just want to show you this, and then I'll show you how to set up this account. With NextLev, you can actually see the analytics of this channel, which is super, super cool, because this gives us some more info about the specific niche, if we should actually go into this niche or rather skip on this niche. All right. So while this is loading, keep in mind, if you're interested in working close with me, check out the first link in the video description, book a completely free call with me, and we'll see how, we can kind of work together, or how I can help you get to the next level. All right. So this is still loading. So while this is still, I don't want to show you guys, I'll show you guys in a second. All right. So this is still loading. I don't want to move away from this page and all, because otherwise, okay, they loaded now. Here we can see 3,000 views, and then it has a $2.60 RPM, which is not the highest RPM. Whoops, I don't know why I went away from that now. But that's what you can kind of see with NextLev. You can kind of get all of the info about this channel. Now, what you can also do with NextLev is, or even with vidIQ, you can see the channel subscribers, which is super helpful for if you, scroll through your homepage and you want to look for small channels that are getting a lot of views. So for example, here we can see 3,000 subscribers, 12,000 views. So then we click on this channel. We have a look. So here, 26 videos, 3,000 subscribers. Channel is doing very, very well. Now, if we want to look at how many competitor channels they are, we can click here on similar channels like that. And then on in-depth search, then click on search. And then it's actually going to go ahead and find all of the competitor channels in this specific space or in this specific niche for us, which is a massive game changer and saves so much time when we want to do niche research. Here, just as an example, another channel in a very similar niche. It's just a game changer. 13 euros for this, very cheap. Okay, then how do you actually set up an account like this? So what you want to do is you want to log into an account on YouTube, and then you want to go to YouTube search and type in anything you're interested in. Just as an example, the biggest houses, like for example this, right? Then you scroll down in the search bar and you look, hey, are there any faceless channels? So for example, here we can see this here is a faceless channel, and we would then actually go ahead and click on that video. Now, as I've said, you can literally search up anything you are interested in. It doesn't have to be houses, can be history, can be sports, can be animals, can be literally anything. Now, once you clicked on the first video, you want to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and here on the sidebar, actually keep on going. All right, so you click here, faceless video on the sidebar, do the exact same thing. So you're looking for small channels getting a lot of views. All right, here's another one. This channel has 1,000 subscribers, 400,000 views. Video was posted 8 months ago, so this channel is probably not doing that well, if I can say it like that. Not doing so well. So this is usually what I call a one-hit wonder. If only one video goes viral, this is something we need to be very, very careful about when we're choosing a niche. All right. Now let's just keep on going, and you will see that YouTube is then, if we in a second go back to our YouTube homepage, we can then see that YouTube is actually going to give us a bunch of faceless channels on our YouTube homepage, which is again overpowered. And the more you use this niche research method, the better it's going to become. So faceless, 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 faceless. So let's look at, for example, here, Trace the Globe, small channel, 9 videos, 15,000 subscribers, doing very, very, very well. I'll actually save this channel in a second for us so we can very quickly, use NextLev to again have a look at the revenue and have a look at like, hey, does it make sense revenue wise to go into this niche? So here we can see 270,000 views in the last 7 days. So let's have a look at the revenue tab. So here, channel revenue, $9,500 in the last month. Would would that be something you would want to go into? If yes, then you go for it. If no, then you don't go for it. All right. Then now you know exactly how to find a niche. Then you need to know that speed is key. All right. To monetize a channel in this kind of time frame, you need speed. Right. You need to implement very, very, very quickly. Okay. Now, when you want to get to speed, you have or speed of creating content and posting content, you have 3 different options for approaching content creation. So either you do it yourself, you do the hybrid method where you do some and edit, or freelancers do some, or you fully outsource it. Now, if you do it yourself, the advantages are that they are basically no cost, 100% profit margin, you learn new skills, and it's in your full control. Right? Then the disadvantages are that it is not very scalable. It's extremely time consuming. Learning takes a bunch of time, and without you don't make any money. Now with the hybrid method, the advantages are you have low costs, you do what you enjoy, you have more control, and the disadvantages are it's partially scalable, very time consuming, or quite time consuming. Some capital required, and without you, there's no income. Now, a lot of our students or people we work with actually start with this and then move over to fully outsourcing, where, you have a bunch of extra advantages. Like, for example, it's not time consuming, extremely scalable, still over 80% profit margin. You have time freedom. You work with experienced freelancers. Without you, there's still an income, and disadvantages are this just requires a little bit of capital. All right. So you can decide which of these you want to go ahead with. Just very important that you actually get the videos out there. It doesn't matter how the videos are being created. Okay. So then we get into the niche testing framework. So I follow this exact process with every single niche I get into to avoid spending money on videos that will never work. So firstly, we do niche research. Then we choose whatever account we want to go with, right? So if we want to go with a new account, personal account, aged account, pre-monetized account, that's completely up to you. All right. I would recommend to always use a personal account if you have one. Then we actually go ahead and we choose 5 to 15 video topics. I would rather recommend you to go up to 15 video topics. Why? Because we want to choose the best video topics possible. Now, how does a good video topic actually look like? You have to keep in mind that there's supply and demand in video topics, all right? Supply and demand is not just important in your niche research, but also in your video topics. Now, how do you find demand? You look for recent outlier videos on competitor channels, look for recent trending formats, and very important is that you do not copy the most popular videos from competitors. You can go ahead and have a look for most of the channels, like the most popular videos. There will be hundreds of people that have already copied that, right? This is what everyone does, and your videos will 1,000,000% fail. Okay. Now, how do you find supply? You use your YouTube search bar and look for how many people have created this exact same video. If it's been done more than 3 times and you don't have a different angle to that specific video, go ahead and look for a different topic. Why? Because YouTube will always show the videos to the hardcore fans of that niche first, and if they have already seen the video multiple times, they don't have any reason for clicking on your video except if it follows a different angle, all right? Now, how does a perfect video topic look like? A perfect video topic resonates with your audience. So do they even want to watch this? Some of the topics sound interesting but are super boring. So make sure that your topic is actually interesting. Your topic has to be posted on time. If it's a trend, we have to, get it out as fast as possible to kind of take that hype of that trend with us. Then we repeat what has done well in the past. This is insane, and I'll tell you guys more about that in a bit. Then leverage negativity. Leverage negativity. Humans respond better to negative things. And this is just, if you look at the news just as an example, it's all negative headlines just because this is what works, all right? Then we use the topic transfer method. This is by far the most powerful way to choose video topics. So what you essentially do is you find winning video topics in other niches and move them over to your niche. This can work insanely well if this is done correctly. So if we just take this as an example here, this video was posted 9 months ago, this one 11 months ago, this one got 2.7 million views, this one 350,000 views. And here we can see why you wouldn't last 24 hours in medieval times. Here, why you wouldn't last 24 hours in Stone Age. Exact same thing what we can see here, right? So this is a video about cats. This is a video about dogs. Exact same concept. Now, this is exactly what we did with Scott, who was, getting 50 to 100 views a video and almost giving up on his channel to, $5,000 a month just by taking video topics from other niches to his niche. And we blew up this channel here to $450 was the highest day, which is absolutely insane, right? The next thing is we double down on what works, which is insane. Now, once you have a channel that's running, so once you find something that works and gets views, why reinvent the wheel? Double down on that topic until it does not work anymore. If you have something that works, do 80% of what works and 20% test new stuff. We've done this with Andre, who went from just being monetized to $31,000 in one single month in just 4 months. You guys can read through this. Absolutely insane. All right. You can pause the video, read through all of this. It's insane. Okay. So doubling down on what works is absolutely crazy. Now, once we have our video topics, we are going to go ahead and we're going to write the script with AI. We're going to kind of do the voiceover with AI. So 11 Labs, or even here, Gen AI Pro. Gen AI Pro is also super cool, super good, like super cheap, like 1 million credits for only $22, which is, pretty affordable. Then we use a editor, like a freelancer, to create the video for us, all right? We want to go as cheap as possible and we don't want any fancy videos. We're good with just basic videos. Then for the thumbnail designer, we use a freelancer or we just do it ourselves. Then, for the video length, we want to create our videos 1.5 times longer than the competitive video. So if the competitive video is 10 minutes, our video should be 15 minutes, all right? Then for the thumbnail and the title, we do not reinvent the wheel. So we don't think of some random title and thumbnail to then create that, all right? We actually go ahead and we do research and find working title and thumbnails that we then take over and use for our own videos as well, all right? And this is your job, by the way, to do very well thumbnail and title research. Now, once we have that done, we actually get into the posting phase. Now, people always laugh at me because I say you have to be inconsistent. The reason for it is very simple. We want to show YouTube that we're not AI bots and that we're real humans. So we post, skip, post, skip, post, and you continue with this until you have 15 videos online. Now, one of two things is going to happen. Either the channel is actually going to, pick up like here, then you're actually going to continue to post videos. This should happen within the first 15 videos. Otherwise, you will not continue to post videos. All right. Now, once one video goes viral, you will actually basically be ready to be monetized in most cases, right? Now, if nothing happens and you don't get any views, you leave the videos online. You don't take them off because it can always blow up here later down the line, all right? Now, the reasons why a channel might fail is because of the niche. Maybe your niche is not good, right? Maybe the video topics you chose are not good, the packaging, the video length, or it's a bad channel. So we always want to go back and try to understand, what did we do wrong? Why this channel is not working? We always want to go back and try to understand, all right? Now, in case of the channel failing, we go back to step 1, niche research, and we kind of follow this process through it, like again and again and again, until we find a niche that's working. And you will find a niche that's working very quickly if you always go back and try to understand, like, hey, why is something not working? All right. Now, again, guys, if you're interested in working close with me, check out the first link in the video description. Let's see if we can get you monetized in 20 days as well. Scale you here to $4,000 a month, or here 1 million views every 48 hours, or here 18,000. Like, you guys can pause the video and read through all of this. But yeah, check it out, book a call right now, and then I'll see you guys in the next video.